gallstone disease, or maybe gallstone gifts. Okay, I'll be sharing both the perspective, a little philosophy, not too deep, as well as the gifts themselves that I mean that gallstones can bring, and believe me, they bring some very valuable gifts. And then I'll go into some practical suggestions that are born of this perspective, and you'll see for yourself how deep this rabbit hole can go for your health. Okay, my name is Chan. I have been treating people with gallstones holistically for 30 years. I have a lot of experience, but more importantly, I'm a life coach, and I've been seeing how shifting your mindset can shift your life much stronger than just a choice between natural or conventional medication. So what's this all about when I say that gallstones can be the bearer of gifts? It's true about every disease, and it's not a new concept, by the way. I've heard it many years ago, and even then it wasn't new. The whole idea is that when we're ill, it's actually the body's way of telling us that something is wrong with the way we are living. It's not the body saying, "Ooh, I have a problem, fix me." It's the body actually doing its best to heal itself, either by causing us to shift our habits or by causing us to take responsibility about specific things or to deal with specific issues we built through. I mean, think about it. If when you're tired, you're taking coffee, you're not really listening to your body, right? If when you're tired, you rest or you improve your resting habits, then you won't be tired anymore. And that's the big difference between just dealing with a symptom and learning from the symptom. Okay? This is a very important aspect. And very often, diseases will be a bit tricky when it comes to that lesson. It will require some thinking, some in-depth perspective to be able to translate, "Oh, I'm ill," to, "Oh, I have a wonderful lesson I can learn." And by the way, when you actually learn the lesson, your health improves 100 times faster and better than when you just take something for that symptom, be it natural or not. So, what are the lessons that gallstones bring? What are the gifts they bear? I mean, what could possibly come out good from having these painful sounds in our system? And the answer to that is, well, let's see how it affects us. The first effect is that it reminds us to drink more, because if we drank enough, there would be a whole lot less stones. And drinking more is actually super, super important. This is not a minor lesson. It affects every cell in our body, every system. Drinking enough can make a huge difference in your digestive system, in your brain function, in how well you're cleaning your kidneys and your body in general, how energetic you are. I can continue this for ages because there's books written just about hydration and its crucial place in health. And gallstones come to teach this lesson. It's the first lesson. In a way, this is common to kidney stones because they're also born of not enough drinking as part of the deal. Okay? The second lesson that gallstone teaches is about eating correctly for the liver and gallbladder. And now this is not a minor thing because our liver is seriously one of the most important and under-considered organ in our body for the 21st century. It has to deal with all the toxins we're exposed to. And if we don't nourish it correctly, its function will not be what we need it to be in order for us to be healthy. And I'm talking about very wide implications. I mean, if you just consider one of the extremes, okay? People who are sick with cancer need their liver to be able to function as the funnel to evacuate all that hypercellular activity, whether it's the disease itself or the healing of the process. Breaking down that mass will need to eventually evacuate itself through the liver. And if the liver is engorged, if the liver is full of gunk, how on earth will it be able to do its job? So when the gallstones appear, they're saying, whoa, we have a problem. We need to deal with the liver and gallbladder nutrition. We need to have a more reasonable amount of fat in our diet. We need to have a better quality fat, less heated fat, etc., etc. A lot of lessons that are very, very crucial and will impact our weight. Not a minor issue when it comes to health and social life, etc. It will impact our blood vessels, whether they're clogged or not. Heart disease, anyone? Okay? So having that flashing neon saying, whoa, we have a problem here, is actually a very good thing if you take this lesson. Of course, if you ignore the lesson and you just cut out the gallbladder, well, you won't have that blinking light saying we're out of gas when the time comes. And your body will be surprising you with more complicated diseases simply because you will not know to take charge of the changes. Okay? But these are just several lessons. There are more. How about the fact that the liver and gallbladder react very harshly to hard emotions like anger, frustration, bitterness? They do so very harshly. There is correlation between these emotions to building the gallstones, but also to higher cholesterol and a lot of other aspects. Just check body-mind medicine. There's a whole field that has to do with those emotions and how they impact the liver and the gallbladder. So by having stones, you're getting a mirror effect that's saying, whoa, check your emotions. In which phases of your life are you frustrated or angry or bitter and need to work through this in order to become healthier? Not just for the sake of having less stones, but for the sake of actually being healthier in a wide array of angles, because emotions don't just impact the stones, they impact every aspect of our life as well. So emotions are not just like, well, maybe I should deal with this. This is important. Consider this. Your gallstone is telling you it's time to take more lessons in emotional intelligence. And when you do so, you'll not just suffer less for stones, your life will be improved greatly. And let me give you another lesson. And I think that's one of those lessons that really don't have any echo out there except in the ancient Chinese medicine and some perspectives that are more modern, mostly in our work today. And that is the fact that gallstones represent dreams that are unfulfilled in our lives. The Chinese saying says that every stone is a dream in our drawers rather than expressed in our life. Can you consider how many dreams you have buried over the years and ignored or postponed or believed impossible? Are you happy? Are you happy in what you do professionally? Are you happy in your marriage? Are you happy in your fatherhood or motherhood? Are you happy in the way you live? Because if not, maybe it's time to change something. Maybe the gallstones are, putting a nice beam of light straight on that question. So wow, so many important gifts. I mean, think about it. Stress management, self-realization, emotional health, nutrition, drinking enough. Well, there's a lot more to it, but even just these lessons alone are such central to our happy and healthy life that I would even go right out and say that the gifts of the gallstones are some of the most important gifts we need as a society in modern times. So instead of treating the gallstones like a pain in the you-know-where, in this case, stomach mostly, maybe it's time to treat them as the gifts they bring and actually start taking care of the gallbladder and liver and do something positive about this. Grow for it. Become healthier for it. When you lose a gallbladder, you only become sicker because your liver has to work harder. This is not really a solution unless there is no other recourse. And hey, let's talk about the recourse. Let's talk about the alternatives. Are there alternatives? And the answer is, of course there are. Now that you understand what I just said, if you change your nutrition, you change your drinking habits, you change your frustrations and working habits with your emotions, you fix up your life, you shift where it's needed, make sure you're happy. And then you just flush the stones out naturally. You just might be able to hit 30 years later, happy and healthy like I am. I took out my stones that way. I shifted my life. I learned these lessons. And I can tell you, my life since has only become better and better and better for these lessons. I can't stress enough how important these lessons have been for me. And, well, in retrospect, for many of my patients as well. It's one of the reasons why I keep working with the gallstones. I mean, just having this, workload of taking stones out, flushing out, it feels like you're working in a quarry. It is not fun if that's the whole point. I can tell you that. And yet our work has been not just gratifying for all the gratitude we're getting. I've seen it really change people's lives, which makes it a whole different story. Sure, we flush stones out, but we also help people live their lives so much better for having these gifts in their lives. Tell me, which of these lessons are missing in your life? I mean, really, answer me below. This is not just, for the sake of, I asked the question at the end. No. This is important. Which of these lessons are missing in your life? What would they bring if they changed? What would happen to your life if you weren't bitter anymore, if you weren't frustrated anymore, if you changed those things that hurt you or that are between you and your better life? What would that bring you? Tell me below, and I'll really be happy to read and interact.